Hi ladies, it's Ziva here. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. Now, first of all, new hair, new me. Now I'm just experimenting, having a fun time. I might wear this when I go for my bottomless brunch next week. So yeah, I don't know. Something different. So today we're discussing recreating femininity in your own way. When I speak about recreating your own, like recreating femininity in your own image, I really mean making it tailored to you, making it suit you. And so you're taking the regular rules of femininity, the regular femininity laws rather, which are more so about makeup, hair, grooming, outfits, things fitting you well, okay, and wearing things that are more classy with sex appeal. That for me is more so the basics of femininity. They're more so the laws of it. And then of course we go into, okay, nails, okay, we go into perfume, and then we go into accessories, you know, we go into feminine voice control. So there are layers to this, but I would say that we have laws and then there are layers. I believe all of us can have a feminine look. I don't believe it's a one size fits all. I think that everybody is going to have different features, different skin color, different hair, different this, different that. And it's about finding your own way to femininity, but remembering that there is a subjective view and universal one as well. So you have to find the right balance and go for what you're wanting to do. Now, when you really think back to, okay, what is the feminine woman? What are the real aspects of that? But then you make it into more modern times and something that's going to suit you, then that's when you really start finding your way. So you want to be emulating yourself, but now as your feminine version. That's what you want to be doing. And you have to remember that there is no one size fits all. There's no like if you're thinking back to like gentlemen prefer blondes era, it's not just about brunettes, it's not just about blondes. Everybody is involved. It can be red-haired, it can be black-haired, you know, there are so many different aspects of things that go into things. And I think initially when people are thinking about femininity as a whole, they're not thinking about the fact that anybody can be it and you can recreate the femininity in your own image to suit you. Now, let's speak about things from my standpoint for a minute, because I'm somebody who I had no aspects of femininity in my look, in my demeanor, in my voice, just in many different things. Of course, in the way that I would think in some aspects, but when it comes to actually delving into my femininity journey, when it came to that, I went full throttle, and it took me a while to really find my groove and my rhythm. I started seeing more of a difference when I started noticing that more established men were noticing me, when I started noticing that more women who looked nicer were noticing me. That was when I really realized I feel like I'm cracking the code. And I'll be honest, it's for me, recreating femininity in my own image is more so about getting the makeup down. It's those laws of femininity, getting the makeup down, getting the hair going, and the walk. It's that there are a lot of things that go into it, but of course there are the laws and there are the layers. And when I really started consolidating that to suit me and go for a look that I just kind of grew into, then that was when things really started changing for me, and I realized that, look, I am actually embodying it. Even previously, when I started my femininity journey, I felt like I was embodying it, but then you kind of realize, girl, no, you weren't, you know, or not fully anyway. I hear a lot of people saying comments, and these comments are very disappointing. They're very upsetting. And this is something I want to speak about. And I know on my channel, I try to keep things like, it's not about race. It's, you know, this is for everybody. But there are just some things that even I cannot ignore, okay? So let's say you're the kind of woman who you have something in your mind where you feel like only specific women are looked at or deemed to be more feminine, or to be pretty, or to be objectified, and you are kind of just always in the shadows, you know? If that is who you are mentally, and you feel like you're always in the shadows and these women are taking the spotlight, instead of being hateful, instead of having jealousy oozing out of you, bitterness, anger, start initiating your femininity journey in your own image. So that means stop being jealous, stop being hateful, okay, stop being in the shadows, and start being visible and commanding attention, because you can decide now to start implementing, you know, your own femininity journey. And I have so many videos on this. I really do. Even like I'm sick and tired of all of that look, I don't look one way, or I don't look like this, I'm not the beauty standard, we're not even doing that. So let's start realizing that the beauty standard has no real set goalpost. Okay, the goalpost is always changing. 1 minute is BBLs. Well, in some worlds, you know, one moment is this, one moment is that, one moment it's blondes, one moment it's exotic. We can't go by all of that. All of that outside chatter, you don't go by that. You go by inside chatter. What do you think? What do you think? Stop being weak-minded. What do you think? Not what does everybody else think. What do you think? How can I look better? How can I feel better? How can I embark on my femininity journey? How can I improve myself so I am the beauty standard? How can I do that? How can I do that? And I remember I spoke about this about a year ago when I saw a few very unbecoming TikToks, and that was kind of irritating. So, or YouTube videos. And I did a video on this. The advice I would give is for you to do trial and error, try out different things, different hairstyles, different makeup looks, different outfit choices, different footwear choices, and see what sticks. Different perfume. Try out different things until you finally get to a place where you feel like, gosh, I look like the woman I want to look like, which is the best version of myself. Constantly trying to improve myself, trying to get better, trying to reach the next level in my own femininity journey. You know, that's what it's about. So look at yourself as a critic and make relevant changes. Make relevant changes. And one thing that will really tell you, the same way with me, how you're doing in terms of your femininity journey and literally implementing it in your own image, is going to be determined by who are the kinds of people who are now looking at you, noticing you, who are approaching you, who are dating you beneficially. All of this makes a big difference and will literally guide you towards what changes have been the most powerful. In my personal femininity journey, I mean, I've tried so many different things. Anything you list, I've done it. I've tried it. I've done it. I've tried it. I have worn the t-shirt. I've thrown it away. I've worn a new one. I've recycled it, honey. I got it back and I've worn it again. I have done absolutely everything, and I finally got to not everything. I've never done this before, but I finally got to a point where I'm really trying to just embrace myself. How do I already look? Okay, how can I build on that? Okay, what's going to suit my skin tone? Okay, what's going to suit or make my lips look nice, the way my lips are? Okay, what's going to make my eyes look better, look prettier? Okay, what's going to make my body look better? What clothing? Okay, what's going to make me look more elegant walking? These heeled footwear. Okay, so it's kind of that vibe, you know, where you're assessing things, what's going to make me look better, and you just go ahead and do it. So I'm here to tell you that there is no one size fits all. This is for being beautiful, being attractive, being wanted by men who we want to date, okay, not by random people, by men who are more successful and this and that. There are certain things that you're wanting to implement into your look, and you've got to go by what is giving me the best reception, and they are the things to change. Now, I know that there are lots of women who, even when you are young, you are still stuck in your ways, and you might not want to change your hair, you don't want to do a different hairstyle, you don't want to do different makeup looks, you want to continue doing the same thing that you've always done. You don't want to make up your own style. You want to wear what everybody's wearing on Instagram. This is when recreating femininity in your own image comes into play also. How can I get out of my own rigid mindset? I don't want to change my hair. I don't want to do this. Don't want to do that. Don't want to do this. Don't want to do that. Shouldn't have to do this. Shouldn't have to do that. But maybe you just do, because the rest of us are doing it, right? And it's getting the results. It's getting the attraction. It's getting the approaches. It's getting the beneficial dating. Okay, so if you really want to see the results, you really want to see that you're able to get better approaches, to be dating better men, to have better experiences in your dating life, then it's definitely about realizing that you might have to make some changes with your look, and implementing your femininity journey and recreating femininity in your own image to suit you, tailoring it for you, is the best advice I can give you. So we're thinking about simple, but effort has gone into it. So it looks kind of simple-ish, but effort has gone into it. This can be one of the most exciting things for yourself. It can be something that's so positive, so uplifting. Gone will be the days where you're looking at other women and just feeling so inferior to them. Let's speak about dates for a second. Okay, because sometimes you're on a date and you might notice that, okay, I'm on a date and I'm sitting here, but that lady's date keeps on looking at me, or maybe your date keeps on like looking at somebody else. And one thing that you have to realize is that these are things that are going to happen in life. It's going to happen. Now, are you going to be the kind of woman who has not embarked on her femininity journey and made herself feel confident in the way that she looks? So that kind of, your date looking at somebody else, is that going to really trigger you? Is that going to make you just hate the way you look even more? Or are you going to use that to fire you up, to really take your look to the next level? Date somebody who likes the features that you have and whatnot, because sometimes on the other side, when their date is looking at you, you're feeling like, yeah, I've got the look, you know, this is the look, and you feel happy with it. But the minute it doesn't go your way, you're thinking negatively about the way that you look, and it's very unhealthy. And we've got to get to the point where we're happy with ourselves internally and externally. This is something that would be lovely for women to have and to experience, but you don't get it without doing the work. So there is something called shadow work, which is what lots of people call it. I just like to call it working on yourself and becoming the woman who you want to be, because that's essentially what it actually is. And making sure that you have your self-love down packed and on the external you're just working on yourself, trying to improve yourself, going by what you know men are attracted to instead of what you think is cute and cutesy, and that's not what it's about. Because when you want to go out there and you want to date somebody other than yourself, you have to look attractive to them, right? So at the same time, when you're recreating femininity in your own image, you are still tailoring it to what you know that the men who you want to date like. So there's a culmination here going on of what you want and what you know that they will like. There's a culmination of that. So when we're thinking of like a bob like this, I never heard any man say that they like a bob. Okay, so if that is your issue, just put some extensions in, and that's the first thing, and you have solved a big issue. Because a lot of women, again, they're speaking about not getting the approaches. Well, elongate your hair, you will see a huge difference in terms of who is interested in you. I'm telling you right now. So whether you're wearing a wig, whether you're doing extensions, whether it's your own hair, get some more length. It does not have to be this long, but I mean, even if it was like here, kind of whatever, but you still have to have a bit more length. It's subtle things like getting the balance right. You don't want to be too sexy, you don't want to be too classy. It's really the sexy classy element of things as well. So it's trial and error, but you're still tailoring things to what look good on you, and knowing and understanding that, look, femininity, it's really, I can make it work for me. Okay, no matter how I look, I can make it work for me. And because lots of people have complexes, or they have preconceived notions, or they have I don't know, some pent up anger towards the way that they look or something. There's nothing you can do about it. So the best thing to do, instead of going around terrorizing other people online or whatever, or out giving people dirty looks, like I've spoken about, barging, whatever, instead of doing that, start implementing femininity in your own image. Okay, this is my advice to any woman who is feeling angry about the way she looks, who is feeling angry about the way other women look, who is not feeling 100% in themselves, who isn't able to date better men. This is my advice. It's to enhance yourself in here and out here. And this is, I think, for me, the best thing any woman can do for herself. Any woman can ever do for herself. Ever. Because you have to be right with yourself first before you're having a family, before you're meeting your last person that you're going to end up with. You have to be right with yourself. And you know what? It took me a very long time to realize that. I remember people saying, how can you love someone if you don't love yourself? I remember people always used to say that kind of thing. And I used to think, why is everybody just, oh my God. I used to think that. And then you actually realize it's very true, because then you make silly decisions because you're not loving yourself. So you're making decisions out of no self-love, no self-esteem, and they're going to be the wrong decisions. And then everything ends up being wrong in your life because you didn't work on yourself first. Now look at that. It's funny because everything is about us. Everything's about us. So if you're unhappy with other people, it's about you. Okay? It's about some trauma that you have, or some kind of weird thinking that you have about that person or whatever. It's always about you, and it's never about anybody else. That's something that I've realized again. So our greatest work is to work on ourselves, to become the woman who we want to be, and to really implement femininity in your own image. Recreate femininity for yourself. on you. How does that look to you? What's the best you can look? What's the best you can feel like? How can you be telling yourself, okay, I'm beautiful, I'm pretty, I'm a catch, I'm attractive? Maybe you can be giving yourself nice affirmations. It's about working on ourselves internally and externally. I definitely do feel like there is a level of femininity or a more attractive look that is always going to be relevant, which is somebody who is really putting effort into her appearance, not just sounding feminine, not just walking in a feminine way, but actually taking steps to look more feminine. When all of us have snatched our wigs off, we have pulled our lashes off, taken everything off, all the slap off, what are you left with? You're left with just yourself without hair and makeup, right? But it's remembering that, okay, that's still me. Just because I'm not fully looking feminine in without everything else on, you're still the person who you are. You're still a feminine woman. But when you are wanting to really just put the cherry on top, that's when you get everything on and you make yourself the woman who you want to be. There's nothing wrong with that. That again is recreating femininity in your own image. Not just saying, well, this is how I look without things on, so this is it, this is me, this is my only option. No, that's not your only option. That actually is like this much of an option. Because if you really want to have your femininity journey, then you're going to be doing more things to make yourself look more feminine, and we can do that with hair and makeup. So recreating femininity in your own image is very exciting because you're able to really have the look that you want to have, be the best version of yourself, look like the best version of yourself, and stop having any jealousy towards anyone else because you're doing the work for yourself and you're feeling good about yourself inside and out, literally. So this is an important life-changing transformation journey. We do have to remember that we can recreate femininity in our own image, in our own way. We can. It's just about looking like somebody who you or others might not deem as the beauty standard or whatever, or what can really be feminine, and literally proving everyone wrong and becoming feminine. Okay, proving yourself wrong, really, because not everyone feels like that. So become the woman who you want to be, look good, feel good, get up, get out, and get the attention, get the approaches, get the dates, get the beneficial dating going, and literally start improving your life, because that is something that is nice for women to have. If I were to give you one bit of advice for recreating your femininity journey and image when you're already in a relationship, it would be for you to literally just start doing it. Don't worry about, oh my gosh, but you know, I've never had this kind of look before, what's my man going to say? He is probably going to be happy about it, or he's going to feel like, oh, you know, he's got to step up his game now because you're looking more attractive, right, to the masses. So at the end of the day, it will shake up your relationship one way or another, and really it should be in a way that's going to be better for you. So whether you're dating, whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, at the end of the day, recreating femininity and implementing that transformation in your own image, in your own way, to suit you, is going to be beneficial and fruitful for you, no matter what path you're already on in your dating lives, right? So get up, get dressed, get out. And don't take yourselves too seriously as well. Please don't take yourselves too seriously. This is something that I have also come to learn. I've done a video on this as well, which is, or I think I briefly spoke on it on one of my videos, which is that just like don't take yourself too seriously. Like, let's not be too pensive, loosen up a bit, look good, feel good, but remember that you're supposed to be feeling good and not feeling stressed out, not feeling pensive, not overthinking. Kind of just loosen up and make that be a part of your femininity journey. I really hope that everybody understands now that there is no one size fits all. There is no, this is what's pretty, this is feminine, this is, no, it's not, okay? Because there is no one size fits all when it comes to your femininity journey. We have to implement what's going to work for us and what's going to suit us, what's going to make us feel good, what's going to make others think we look good, so we can date and get the benefits we want out of it. So it's all for us at the end of the day. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.